A very good evening to all of you. So today we would be talking on a very interesting topic for most of those who are in research, and that is it even possible to beat the plagiarism check software? Synonym replacement, how far it works well. So we have been focusing on numerous plagiarism softwares, the softwares that can check plagiarism. Some of the common ones are Turnitin, Urkund, and these are some of the softwares that give you a kind of insight and analysis about the similarity in the content. But what it fails to actually comprehend is the paraphrasing. So a lot of students obviously have a question how far we can use these kind of tools, and is it okay to manipulate the software checkers that are there for plagiarism. So we would be talking about this topic in detail. All of those who have joined in here are a research student, are students of either MPhil or PhD writing their dissertation or thesis, or any of your research papers. Definitely should keep this in mind, even if you are working as content developers or you are part of content creation at most of the universities and cells or kind of private sections. Take these points into account before you start your journey. Okay, so let's talk about a simple overview from Urkund. So under Urkund, what you have is there is a kind of option where you try to understand the content. Okay, so understanding the content first of all is very important. So when you understand the content, what you do is there is a similarity tool that basically matches it. So what happens is you put in a text and then the Urkund opens the report for it, and as you can see the report gets opened and you have the document that is submitted versus the matching text that is seen. Now you would see that there is 96% of the text that is matching in this case. So when students try to do the paraphrasing, they usually get confused with the content where they are trying to paraphrase the concept and they are trying to do synonym replacement. So what could be done in this case? So let's say this is a simple passage about giraffe, and the details have been explained here, and it shows that a lot of text has been matching, but what has to be done is very important. So what you need to do is you need to understand that once you are taking this into account, you need to focus on the fact that if I keep on replacing the synonyms, the words that are there, what would happen? Let's say if I do a synonym replacement, as most of the students do, they take the word tallest, do a right click, find out synonym and write longest. Okay, so what would happen is sometimes the meaning would go worse. We would have certain citations and examples, as we have seen with most of the students writing their research and doing their work, how what kind of misinterpretations occur if there is a simple synonym replacement that takes place. So it's very important that even if you are writing the text, if the text matches in any of the software check that is there, you need to paraphrase. Paraphrase is simply meaning that you need to read that sentence and rewrite in your own words. So let's say you have several sentences about giraffe here, and rather than writing the same sentences again, you can rephrase it and write it into your own language. So let's say here it says 7 other species are extant, prehistoric species known from the fossil. So this is something that could be brought with the main content, where it says that giraffe is one of the mammals, which is one of the tallest terrestrial mammals, but there are numerous species. One of the species with the 9 subspecies is considered important, but then you have 7 other species which are extant. So this is something that you have explained in your own words and phrases. So that is perfectly fine when you are doing a analysis. Now, as we said, what would happen in this case? In this case, you would see what are the warnings. In the software itself, you would have the text similarity percentage that would be there. And sometimes to actually beat this text similarity that is there, students work with the concept of synonym replacement, and there is where a lot of things go wrong. Let's move further to understand this. So here there is a assignment, the matching text as we said. So what should be included and excluded from the analysis, and a kind of overview from the software is given here. But this helps us to understand that we need to work on this matching text. So what is important here is paraphrasing the content. I repeat again, paraphrasing is very important, because a lot of students do this incorrectly. Let's see how. So we have a quote of text from a section of anthropology that was there, and here is the one in the blue is the one that has been written in the original document, and one in the green is what has been done through synonym replacement. So let's read the sentence here. The insects must be small enough for oxygen to diffuse to all parts of their bodies. Now if you are doing simply right clicking the word insect, it would convert it into bugs. Small converts into little, okay, then to all parts converts into pieces, so it becomes bugs should be little enough for oxygen to diffuse to all pieces of their body. Does this make sense? So this is what happens with synonym replacement. Similarly, read the last line. It makes it very obvious. The length of the giraffe's neck may be limited by the blood pressure it is possible for their hearts to generate. Now it converts into the length of the neck might be restricted by the circulatory strain it is workable for their souls to create. Does it make any sense? So this is what most of the students do when they are writing a research paper, or they are trying to write a thesis, and if it goes in the plagiarism check software that there is a matching content, they immediately try to go for a synonym replacement, the simplest thing that a word can do. So please make it sure that don't make your work look nonsensical, because if this is the thing, then definitely your the quality that you are producing definitely goes down, and moreover it's the research ethics that you need to take into account here. So be very particular about it. Let's say we have another example from a section of botany that we have, and this again has a synonym replacement in it. Now this talks about the ascent of sap and how it actually works, and this is a kind of translation that was done. So in the process of ascent of sap, there are three facts. Happiness in the backside of lumen of the xylem vessels. Does this make any sense? Now this is something that we need to understand here, that whenever you are using tools, tools are obviously there, but use their tools with intelligence. Even if you try to do a kind of replacement, it should be a sensical replacement only in certain cases. We have a same example from, let's say, other softwares that most researchers use, and SPSS is a common software. So under SPSS you can find, let's say, correlation between two things. So what would happen is, if I put in certain data for the amount of clouds and the marks a student gets in the examination, the software would definitely give me a correlation between the two things. But is it sensical? Definitely it's not sensical. So what is sensical probably would be the marks of the students versus the efforts put in or the hard work put in for the examination, or the amount of cloud in the sky with correlating that with the probability of getting a good rainfall. So there should be a good correlation that should exist between the content that is there. So all these tools that are there, even for the Microsoft Word, where you have the synonym replacement as one of the tools, it does not have that intelligence to understand it in the context of what is being explained. Also note that paraphrasing is one of the difficult challenges that most of the software checks have, the plagiarism software checks have, and therefore it is very important to do paraphrasing correctly in your own words. So for that, only one thing is required, and that is a good grammar that is there. So if you have a good command on grammar or the basics of the concepts, you would be easily able to sail through that. So don't go for any synonym replacement in your research publications, in your papers, and that is something that is very important. Otherwise, here is a sample what would finally come in as a part of your work, which would definitely downgrade your ethics and definitely won't lead you anywhere. There is another paragraph that we have taken here. So just read this and see if this makes sense, or is it a part of a synonym replacement. So immediately after reading this passage, you would be able to find out whether it is a synonym replacement where the words have been simply changed and the meaning has been totally disoriented in most of the respects. So that is where we need to understand that basically what you need to go for is reading the content uh, carefully and rewriting it correctly. There is one of the questions from Anirudh asking about what is plagiarism. So plagiarism is basically when you are taking ideas or content directly from another source without acknowledging that source. And if you are writing your research, if you are writing your publication, this is something that is not at all this is something that you cannot do or you shouldn't do. So therefore plagiarism is a very important topic as part of your research ethics. So here, as you can see in the last sentence, the genuine contest which lies before us currently is to contemplate the connection among nature and ecological variable. So here the idea is the basic conflict that lies is the link between nature and ecological variables, and when there is a synonym replacement, this is how it comes to be. So be very particular about what the things are and how those things needs to be presented. So here what we need to understand is as we said, maintaining research ethics, maintaining research values is very important as part of your research work. Otherwise you won't go anywhere. Even after spending many years with your PhD, you would be at the same position where you would be writing your chapters of your research. So we have covered another class which is on research ethics. I definitely recommend that go through that class as well before you start writing the paper or the research. Now Anirudh, most of the students, what they are doing when they are writing the research is they take a content from some external source, and synonym means the exact same word. What could be the different names for those words? Okay, so that is what is the synonym. So what they do under synonym replacement is, in the word itself, MS Word, you have an option. When you right click the word, it says the synonym. Okay, so it gives the various synonym for the words, and students randomly pick the synonyms from the word and the MS Word, the Microsoft Office itself, and when they simply change the words, the whole passage becomes nonsensical. So that is something that is not to be done when you are writing the content in your own words, and this is something that need not to be done. So how to do it should not be a question. You should be working on how not to go for it, or this is something that is not to be done. Thanks Anirudh. Now there is another question from Om. Live classes for NET. Om, we do not conduct live classes for NET as of now. We have the recorded video lectures, but with the video lectures we offer kind of live doubt resolution sessions. So with every course we have 4 doubt resolution sessions that would be there. So all the students who are enrolling for the recorded classes go through the lectures as directed, and join us for the live sessions, which is meant only for the registered students. The links would be provided only to the registered students, and then whatever doubts they had while they were going through the content would be discussed. Along with that, all the doubts that they had and that they emailed during this period when they were preparing would be covered in the doubt resolution session. So for the live section, we are only there for doubt resolution. The whole content should be based on the self-study pace and should be covered as directed in the lectures itself. Anirudh has a question. Videos for class 7th maths. So definitely, Anirudh, we have videos for videos and development for mathematics. Class 6th, a lot of it is already covered. Class 7th would be upcoming soon, so probably you would require class 8 by next few in next few months. So yes, we would be updating the videos for class 6th, 7th and 8th soon for mathematics as well. So let us know if you have any further questions, and we do have our live classes every Tuesdays and Saturdays. On Tuesdays we have the testing Tuesday sessions, where we bring in one subject and discuss questions related to that subject, both the contemporary and subject based questions. And every Saturdays we meet with a different theme. So next Saturday we have another topic which is regarding a query for how to take good classes. A lot of students have been moving to online platform, online teaching, and they have been asking for the preparations for taking live classes and creating engaging classes. So probably that is one of the topics that would be discussed next Saturday. Okay, Anirudh, so you would be needing for class 7. Definitely we would be covering class 7 chapters for mathematics in the upcoming months soon. So stay tuned for many more updates from our side, and do email us for any doubts and any queries. Definitely, if you have any theme in mind that should be covered, email your suggestions to admin@examrace.com, and we would be more than happy to cover those in the next session. Have a wonderful evening ahead.